Hi, my name is Marco, and thanks to the vital role that Frontier College played in Canada's adult education movement, my great-grandfather gained literacy and numeracy skills that not only bettered his life, but also instilled the value of quality education through each generation of our family. First, let me take you on a historical journey of Frontier College as told to me by my great-grandfather and is documented in our rich Canadian history. Alfred Fitzpatrick was born in 1862 in Nova Scotia. He became a Presbyterian minister and traveled to work in California, New Brunswick, Saskatchewan, and settled down in Nairn Centre, Ontario in 1899. During these travels, Fitzpatrick observed the extremely poor working conditions and poverty faced by mining, lumber, and railway workers. The plight of these laborers was dire, with long hours and terrible working and living conditions, and with little pay to improve their quality of life. This problem troubled Fitzpatrick. He believed that education would help improve the quality of the lives of these hardworking men. This was when he resolved to change careers and focus on teaching literacy to these laborers. In 1899, Fitzpatrick successfully lobbied the Ontario government for support to create traveling libraries on the frontier. He created the Canadian Reading Camp movement, which provided mining, lumber, and railway worksites with reading rooms, as well as brought learning opportunities to adults who lived and worked in remote communities. In 1902, Fitzpatrick created the role of a laborer teacher. He encouraged university students to travel to remote communities and teach classes to adult laborers. These teachers would work alongside the laborers during the day and then teach classes under a tent in the evening. By working alongside the laborers, the teachers would learn about issues they faced and then adapt their lessons to meet the student need. This approach to adult education allowed the laborers to learn basic literacy and numeracy skills, and the teachers developed valuable leadership skills. My great-grandfather was among the 5 million people who immigrated to Canada in the early 1900s. Approximately 250,000 men were working in 3,700 bush camps on the Canadian frontier in 1918. My great-grandfather worked at a railway camp in northern Ontario and often shared stories about the long hours of demanding work and low wages. During World War I, Canadian reading camps continued but were minimized as some laborer teachers joined the armed forces. In 1919, the Canadian Reading Camp movement was renamed as we know it today to Frontier College. That same year, Alfred Fitzpatrick wrote a handbook for new Canadians with the goal of instilling Canadian values, the first of its kind guide to adult education in Canada. My great-grandfather said that his labor teacher brought a copy of this book to the railway camp as a teaching guide for them. By 1920, there were 600 laborer teachers in camps across Canada, and Frontier College had enrolled over 100,000 men in its literacy classes. Frontier College also began hiring women. Dr. Margaret Strang was the first to provide the same benefit to female laborers. Post-World War I, Frontier College gained national recognition for the handbook written in the previous decade. Fitzpatrick received government funding to promote this educational guide. It was after World War II that Frontier College expanded its literacy programs, opening them to children, teens, and families in urban locations, including people living on the streets, and made their learning programs available to other demographics where needed. During the 1970s, women and couples started working in both cities and rural areas, and in 1977, Frontier College received the UNESCO Literacy Prize for their work in the field of adult education. Starting in 2005, Frontier College began a summer literacy camp program that focused on teaching literacy education to young Indigenous students in First Nation communities across Canada. Today, Frontier College is nationwide, with groups in almost every university in Canada, and provides programs for adults, children, youth, and Indigenous communities. Frontier College continues to adapt to modern times and includes online and virtual learning spaces. A personal example of this is the program I am part of today, the Workplace Literacy and Essential Skills Program. It is providing me with training in order to grow my skills and effectiveness in the workplace. These tutoring sessions cater to my needs as a learner, as I can take them in person or online. Frontier College's virtual learning portal allows 9,000 learners to connect with 2,600 volunteer tutors from different geographic regions of Canada at any time. The methods initiated by the founders of Frontier College parallel the approaches of the progressive and humanistic learning theories. Frontier College believes in a student-centered approach to learning, which was exemplified in the earliest days when men would gather around a common space and work through various learning activities across a range of topics. One imperative goal of the humanistic philosophy is based on the belief that adult education is to develop the learner's ability to become self-directed. When a learner can relate problems occurring in their lives to their education, it creates purposeful and authentic learning. Frontier College believes that offering a variety of courses helps students to meet their needs of becoming a contributing member of society. The humanistic philosophy parallels Frontier College's concept of creating a state of self-actualization, decision-making, freedom, and innovation as imperative components to meaningful learning. Frontier College's notion that a tutorial partnership where the learner and tutor respect and learn from each other mirrors the progressive adult education philosophy that the teacher and learner relationship is codependent and collaborative. The term progressivism in itself speaks to the nature of constant evolution. To make progress is to learn, and to learn is to achieve. Moving forward, maintaining the roots in a progressivism philosophy will see Frontier College partnering with learners for a lifetime journey of learning. Transformative learning theory was a congruent foundational piece for Fitzpatrick upon his initiation of the laborer-teacher-led reading camps. As transformative theory suggests, immersing a learner into an educational program created based on their personal needs allows the learner to engage in the content freely as it pertains to their life. All learners partaking in the program are able to apply their current knowledge base to their desired educational outcomes. According to Sharp, the need for reading and writing radiates throughout the day-to-day lives of us all. Lacking these basic skills has a damaging impact on individuals and society by extension. Coordinators at Frontier College seek to eradicate illiteracy among adults, thereby enhancing self-esteem and creating opportunity for longevity or advancement of employment. The decree of Frontier College is to assuage hindrances, both personal and social, in order to help learners achieve growth and self-actualization. I mentioned earlier that teachers working alongside laborers who shared life stories allowed them to create learning experiences relevant to the laborer's struggles. Bearing this in mind, paralleling the theoretical framework of Fitzpatrick's goals, Lynch discusses the theory of social constructivism as it relies on the idea that knowledge is obtained through social interaction, using language, and sharing information and experience. Within this theory, every exchange or encounter between two or more people opens up the possibility for knowledge to be gained or current understandings to be tested and developed. The initiatives and programs offered by Frontier College and continuously promote an inclusive environment built upon the notions of transformative learning and social constructivism theories. The sociological benefits of education have been well documented and developed over time. The grassroots of Frontier College personifies this through the mission to work with volunteers and community partners to give people the skills and confidence they need, and its vision of being a leading and results-driven literacy service partner. Frontier College was founded on the basis that literacy is a right. The college dedicates itself to instilling Canadian values and becoming contributing members of society. Through the tireless efforts of thousands of volunteers, the provisions of educational opportunities are continuously bridging the gaps of poverty, improving overall health, and shrinking the percentage of unemployed citizens. In an article from Global Partnership for Education, they exemplify the vital societal impact of education through their statement that education reduces poverty, boosts economic growth, and increases income. It increases a person's chances of having a healthy life, reduces maternal deaths, and combats diseases such as HIV and AIDS. By continuing to honor Frontier College's traditions of adult education for the betterment of self, there is an undeniable ripple effect on the improvement of society as a whole for inclusivity and economics. With advancements in technology, economic shifts will result in employee displacement due to automation and the population being forced into seeking alternate professions. Surging forward through continued efforts of identifying groups such as these in need of literacy supports, adult education from Frontier College will continue to evolve.